Peak, Anders Ericsson. Talent is not what we think it is. When we see extraordinary people, we usually tell ourselves the same story. They were born gifted. The concert pianist, the chess master, the elite athlete, the genius programmer. We assume they possess something rare and unreachable, natural talent. But Peak dismantles this belief completely. According to Anders Ericsson, exceptional performance is not mainly the result of inborn genius. It is the result of something far less glamorous. Deliberate practice, focused, structured training repeated consistently over time. The dangerous comfort of the talent myth. The belief in natural talent feels comforting, because if greatness is genetic, then failure becomes easier to explain. I just wasn't born for it. This mindset protects the ego, but also destroys potential. Because once people believe ability is fixed, effort begins to feel pointless. They stop challenging themselves, stop improving, stop enduring discomfort. The talent myth quietly becomes a prison. Ordinary practice is not enough. Most people misunderstand practice. Repetition alone does not create mastery. Doing something casually for years does not automatically produce excellence. Many people repeat the same level of performance endlessly. They become experienced, but not significantly better. Ericsson separates ordinary practice from deliberate practice, and the difference changes everything. What deliberate practice really means. Deliberate practice is uncomfortable. It targets weaknesses directly. Not what feels easy, not what feels enjoyable, not what protects confidence. It focuses on the edge of your current ability, the area where mistakes happen. Because improvement only occurs when you stretch beyond automatic performance. Growth requires frustration. People often interpret struggle as proof of limitation. If this feels difficult, maybe I'm not talented. But difficulty is not evidence of inability. It is evidence of growth. The brain changes through challenge. Discomfort is not the enemy of mastery. It is the mechanism behind it. The brain adapts to demands. One of the book's most powerful insights is that the human brain is remarkably adaptable. Skills that once seemed impossible can become automatic through focused repetition. Memory improves. Speed improves. Precision improves. The brain rewires itself according to repeated demands. Potential is more flexible than most people realize. Feedback accelerates improvement. Improvement requires correction. Without feedback, people repeat mistakes unconsciously. This is why coaches, teachers, and mentors matter. Not because they create talent, but because they reveal blind spots. Feedback directs attention toward improvement. Plateaus are psychological traps. Most people eventually reach a plateau, a comfortable level of competence, and then they stop progressing, not because they reach their limit, but because they stop practicing deliberately. They shifted into automatic behavior. Mastery requires constantly pushing beyond comfort. Focus is becoming rare. Deliberate practice demands deep concentration. But modern life destroys concentration. Notifications, distractions, constant stimulation. Most people rarely enter deep focus anymore. And without deep focus, meaningful improvement slows dramatically. Mastery requires attention, and attention is now one of the rarest skills in the world. Motivation is not enough. People often wait for inspiration. But elite performers rely less on motivation and more on systems, schedules, repetition, structure. Because motivation fluctuates, systems endure. The role of mental representations. Experts see the world differently. A chess master sees patterns invisible to beginners. A musician hears details others miss. Ericsson explains this through mental representations. Years of practice build internal models that improve perception and decision-making. Experts are not just faster. They process information differently. Why early failure matters. Beginners often avoid mistakes because mistakes feel humiliating. But mistakes contain information. They reveal weaknesses. People who improve rapidly are usually more willing to confront failure directly. Avoiding mistakes slows growth. Analyzing mistakes accelerates it. Consistency beats intensity. Extreme effort for short periods rarely creates mastery. Consistency matters more. Small improvements repeated daily create enormous long-term change. The process is slow, sometimes invisible, but compounding effort transforms ability over time. The myth of limits. People often assume they've reached their natural ceiling, but many limits are artificial, created by habit, expectation, or lack of proper training. Ericsson argues that human potential is often far greater than we assume. Not unlimited, but vastly underdeveloped. Mastery requires sacrifice. Deep improvement demands trade-offs. Time, energy, comfort. Most people admire mastery without seeing the cost behind it. The repetitions, the boredom, the frustration. Excellence is rarely glamorous while it is being built. Purpose sustains effort. Long-term practice becomes unbearable without meaning. People persist longer when they connect effort to something larger. Growth, contribution, purpose. Purpose stabilizes discipline during difficult periods. The difference between amateurs and professionals. Amateurs practice until they get something right. Professionals practice until they can't get it wrong. That difference changes outcomes completely. Peak destroys one of the most limiting beliefs in modern culture, that greatness belongs only to the naturally gifted. Instead, it offers a more demanding, but more empowering truth. Human ability is trainable. Most people dramatically underestimate what focused, deliberate effort can produce over time. Mastery is not magic. It is structured struggle repeated consistently. And while talent may influence where you start, the quality of your practice determines how far you go. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Like if this message made you believe greatness can be trained. Comment, what skill are you willing to practice until you master it? Subscribe for powerful book wisdom that sharpens your potential. Share this with someone committed to becoming their best.